Hey everybody, hope you're doing good. We are reading the Bible. This is the Jehovah's Witness version. Um, let's dig in. We are on Numbers chapter 11, verse 1. Now the people became as men having something evil to complain about in the ears of Jehovah. When Jehovah got to hear it, then his anger grew hot, and a fire of Jehovah began to blaze against them, and to consume some in the extremity of the camp. When the people began to cry out to Moses, then he made supplication to Jehovah, and the fire sank down. And the name of that place got to be called Taberah, because a fire of Jehovah had blazed against them. And the mixed crowd that was in the midst of them expressed selfish longing, and the sons of Israel began to weep again and say, Who will give us meat to eat? How we remember the fish that we used to eat in Egypt for nothing, the cucumbers and the watermelons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. But now our soul is dried away, our eyes are on nothing at all except manna. Incidentally, the manna was like coriander seed, and its look was like the look of bdellium gum. The people spread out and picked it up, and ground it in hand mills, and pounded it in a mortar, and they boiled it in cooking pots, or made it into round cakes, and its taste proved to be like the taste of an oiled sweet cake. And when the dew descended upon the camp by night, the manna would descend upon it. And Moses got to hear the people weeping in their families, each man at the entrance of his tent. And Jehovah's anger began to grow very hot, and in the eyes of Moses it was bad. Then Moses said to Jehovah, Why have you caused evil to your servant? And why have you not found favor in your eyes in placing the load of all this people upon me? Have I myself conceived all this people? Is it I who have given them birth, so that you should say to me, Carry them in your bosom, just as the male nurse carries the suckling to the soil about which you swore to their forefathers? From where do I have meat to give to all this people? For they keep weeping toward me, saying, Do give us meat, and let us eat. I am not able, I by myself, to carry all this people, because they are too heavy for me. So if this is the way you are doing to me, please kill me off altogether, if I have found favor in your eyes, and let me not look upon my calamity. In turn Jehovah said to Moses, Gather for me 70 men of the older men of Israel, whom you do know that they are older men of the people, officers of theirs, and you must take them to the tent of meeting, and they must station themselves there with you. And I shall have to come down and speak with you there, and I shall have to take away some of the spirit that is upon you, and place it upon them, and they will have to help you in carrying the load of the people, that you may not carry it you alone. And to the people you should say, Sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow, as you will certainly eat meat, because you have wept in the ears of Jehovah, saying, Who will give us meat to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt, and Jehovah will certainly give you meat, and you will eat indeed. You will eat, not 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, nor 10 days, nor 20 days, but up to a month of days, until it comes out of your nostrils, and it has become a loathing to you, just because you rejected Jehovah, who is in your midst, and you went weeping before him, saying, Why is it that we have come out of Egypt? Then Moses said, The people in the midst of whom I am are 600,000 men, on foot, and yet you have said, Meat I shall give them, and they will certainly eat for a month of days. Will flocks and herds be slaughtered for them, for it to be adequate for them? Or will all the fish of the sea be caught for them, for it too be adequate for them? At this Jehovah said to Moses, The hand of Jehovah is cut short, is it? Now you will see whether what I say befalls you or not. After that Moses went out and spoke to the people the words of Jehovah. And he went gathering 70 men from the older men of the people, and proceeded to have them stand round about the tent. Then Jehovah came down in a cloud, and spoke to him, and took away some of the spirit that was upon him, and put it upon each of the 70 older men. And it came about that as soon as the spirit settled down upon them, then they proceeded to act as prophets, but they did not do it again. Now there were 2 of the men remaining in the camp. The name of the one was Eldad, and the name of the other was Medad. And the Spirit began to settle down upon them, as they were among those written down, but they had not gone out to the tent. So they proceeded to act as prophets in the camp. And a young man went running and reporting to Moses, and saying, Eldad and Medad are acting as prophets in the camp. Then Joshua the son of Nun, the minister of Moses from his young manhood on, responded and said, My lord Moses, restrain them. However, Moses said to him, Are you feeling jealous for me? No, I wish that all of Jehovah's people were prophets, because Jehovah would put his spirit upon them. Later Moses withdrew to the camp, he and the older men of Israel. And a wind burst forth from Jehovah, and began driving quails from the sea, and letting them fall above the camp about a day's journey this way, and about a day's journey that way, all around the camp, and about 2 cubits above the surface of this earth. Then the people got up all that day, and all night, and all the next day, and kept gathering the quail. The one collecting least gathered 10 homers, and they kept spreading them extensively all around the camp for themselves. The meat was yet between their teeth, before it could be chewed, when Jehovah's anger blazed against the people, and Jehovah began striking at the people with a very great slaughter. The name of that place came to be called Kibroth Hattava, because they were buried, the people who shoved selfish craving. From Kibroth-Hattava, the people pulled away for Hazeroth, and they continued to Hazeroth. All right, that was 11. Well, interesting that Moses is contending that the burden he's bearing is very heavy. I wonder how many vegans are upset that people are begging for meat. Okay, Numbers 12. Now Miriam and Aaron began to speak against Moses on account of the Cushite wife whom he had taken. What? Cushite? Whom he had taken, because it was a Cushite wife he had taken. And they kept saying, Is it just by Moses alone that Jehovah has spoken? Is it not by us also that he has spoken? And Jehovah was listening, and the man Moses was by far the meekest of all the men who were upon the surface of the ground. Then Jehovah suddenly said to Moses and Aaron and Miriam, Go out, the 3 of you, to the tent of meeting. So the 3 of them went out. After that Jehovah came down in the pillar of cloud and stood at the entrance of the tent and called Aaron and Miriam. At this both of them went out, and he went on to say, Hear my words, please. If there came to be a prophet of yours for Jehovah, it would be in a vision I would make myself known to him. In a dream I would speak to him. Not so my servant Moses. He is being entrusted with all my house. Mouth to mouth I speak to him, thus showing him, and not my riddles. And the appearance of Jehovah is what he beholds. Why then did you not fear to speak against my servant, against Moses? And Jehovah's anger got to be hot against them. And the cloud turned away from over the tent, and look, Miriam was struck with leprosy, as white as snow. Then Aaron turned towards Miriam, and look, she was struck with leprosy. Immediately Aaron said to Moses, Excuse me, my lord, do not please attribute to us the sin in which we have acted foolishly, and which we have committed. Please do not let her continue like someone dead, whose flesh at the time of his coming out of his mother's womb is half eaten off. And Moses began to cry out to Jehovah, saying, Oh God, please heal her, please. Then Jehovah said to Moses, Were her father to spit directly in her face, would she not be humiliated 7 days? Let her be quarantined 7 days outside the camp, and afterward let her be received in. Accordingly Miriam was quarantined outside the camp 7 days, and the people did not pull away until Miriam was received in. And afterward the people pulled away from Hazeroth, and took up camping in the wilderness of Paran. Well, Miriam got leprosy. Wow. Alright, we're in Numbers 13 now. Jehovah now spoke to Moses, saying, Send out for yourself men, that they may spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the sons of Israel. You will send out one man for each tribe of his fathers, each one a chieftain among them. It's very much like a confederacy, right? That's quite interesting. It's like everybody's got to have a chief. All right, fam. Hope you liked it.